Our next speaker is professional numismatist Brett Charville, who was named president of PCGS just this past January 1st. An expert in grading and evaluating U.S. vintage coins, Brett has commented that his appointment was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He stated, "We have a responsibility to many different stakeholders to deliver a consistent and marketable product to our submitters, as well as provide liquidity, security, and act as a bulkhead against counterfeiting. We have an obligation to our shareholders to grow our brands and business in sustainable, consistent, and innovative ways, ensuring that PCGS is a market leader in numismatic authentication and grading for generations to come." A quote from Brett, our next speaker. Brett?
Hello. I'd like to thank the ANA for taking the time to put this event on. It's hard to imagine this hobby without the ANA, and I think it would also be impossible to imagine the future of numismatics without the ANA. In discussing the future of numismatics, I think one of the best ways to explain where I think the coin market is headed is to explain my own past a little bit. I'm the president of PCGS, but PCGS and myself are actually almost exactly the same age. PCGS was conceived in 1985 and began grading in 1986. I too was conceived right around that time, although I didn't start grading until quite a few years later. That was a joke. Unlike many on this panel, I really wasn't trading coins when I was a teenager. I got a late start, and I really didn't start trading coins pretty much until college. When I was a teenager, I was collecting mercury dimes. And the big event in the world of mercury dimes in the year 2000, when I was 15, was when Heritage sold the Louis Bassano collection. At this time, I was familiar with PCGS and NGC, but this was really my first time hearing about Heritage auctions. The big coin that brought all the money in that sale was a 1919 Denver mercury dime, grading PCGS MS66 full bands. It brought about $220,000, which is and was the all-time price record paid for a mercury dime up until about a month ago. That sale, as a whole, completely changed my perspective about the coin market and the hobby, but it maybe didn't change it in the way you'd think. After I read that article in Coinage magazine about the Heritage sale, I actually didn't feel the need to go to my local coin store as much as I used to. At 15, I had still never been to a major coin show in person, and all of a sudden it didn't bother me anymore either. To me, in that moment, when I discovered Heritage's website, the coin market became digital. I bring up this example because in my experience, this tends to hold true across many in the sub-40-year-old coin collecting crowd, which is the group of people we all hope become members of the ANA and stay for decades. This younger crowd often doesn't feel the need to attend coin shows, and I think I know why. For years and years, the measurement of success for coin shows has by and large been judged by trading activity on the bourse floor. But before the advent of third-party grading, you needed to travel to a show. You needed to inspect each coin in hand before you purchased it. While many in this room still swear by this method and giggle at those who aren't as cautious, the truth remains that thanks to PCGS and NGC, the vast, vast majority of coin purchases now take place online and happen without an in-person examination of the coin prior to purchase. When purchasing coins, most of the younger crowd is completely happy saving that travel money and buying all of their coins online. To them, the $2,000 that they would spend flying and attending this show for a week, they'd rather spend on buying a coin on Instagram and Facebook. Because of this, I think our own measurements of success and failure are pointing us in the wrong direction about where the hobby is headed. As the next generation of collector and dealers enter the marketplace, digital transactions will only continue to rise, and as is, the popularity of coin shows will only continue to decrease. What can we do to combat the demise of coin shows? As a hobby, we must take steps to create more engaging content at coin shows above and beyond a bourse floor. Exhibitions, educational seminars, symposiums such as this, and even simply creating a friendly atmosphere and sense of community need to move to the forefront as fundamental components of coin shows. I don't know if you've ever been to a Comic-Con, but every year tens of thousands of Comic-Con attendees attend Comic-Cons all over the world and don't make a single purchase at the show. They're just there to take it all in and maybe most importantly, attend an event where they feel they belong and they are among their own people. They still buy the comics online, they still see the movies in the theater, but at the Comic-Con, the main event isn't a bourse floor, it's interaction. It's vital that coin shows grow this same sense of community if we want to compete for the hearts and minds of the next generation. So when we're talking about the health of the numismatic industry, I actually have a strong sense that our industry is doing just fine and actually growing. But we probably need to start looking at different ways of measuring growth in our hobby. One example that springs to mind that may be an indicator of the current strength of the coin market is the PCGS Collectors Club. Right now, at this moment, PCGS has over 15,000 Collectors Club members, which are collectors who pay an annual membership fee to submit coins, as well as receive our magazine and get quarterly specials. We currently have over 15,000 members, and when I started this job at the beginning of the year, we only had 14,000 Collectors Club members. I don't know the specifics at NGC, but I'd imagine they're experiencing similar growth there as well with their collector base. This is a healthy sign for the hobby, and this move to online mediums for interaction and trading in our hobby will only continue to rise. I'm confident that the ANA and other stakeholders, such as those up here speaking to you today, will chart the right path, but we may just need to start looking for and nurturing the growth of our hobby in different ways, shapes, and forms. Thank you.